Georgia's famous sweet peach is officially rotting right from the core, especially if you were staring down a housing market that is turning into a full-blown disaster with a catastrophic crash projected to hit 47%. The numbers are jaw-dropping, and honestly, the stories coming from residents are even more shocking. What used to be one of the most promising places to set down roots has now become a minefield for anyone hoping to buy a home. You thought the humidity down south was suffocating, but try paying a mortgage in these wildly inflated neighborhoods. People are stretched thin, and the dream of homeownership is turning into a nightmare. From young families to seasoned investors, everyone is feeling the squeeze. Each month seems to bring a new wave of uncertainty, with prices bouncing like a yo-yo, and buyers left gasping for air as they try to keep up. So what's really happening behind those picket fences and wraparound porches? We are tossing our luggage in the trunk and taking a scenic road trip to count down the top 10 Georgia cities where buying a house right now is, well, let's just say, it's a risk you might want to think twice about. Buckle up, because this list isn't just surprising, it's downright alarming. First stop, Atlanta, a city that's always been the heartbeat of Georgia, but now it's experiencing a pulse-pounding crisis. Over the past few years, Atlanta's housing prices have shot up faster than a roller coaster at Six Flags, leaving would-be homeowners hanging on for dear life. The average price for a single-family home has soared beyond reach for many locals, and bidding wars are leaving buyers exhausted and empty-handed. But it's not just high prices that should have you sweating. The recent volatility in Atlanta's market has created wild swings, with values jumping one month and dipping the next. Investors are pulling out, and longtime residents are worried about whether their biggest asset is about to nosedive. It's become a real gamble. One month your home's value is up, the next, it's on the chopping block. Adding to the chaos, Atlanta's booming tech scene and job influx have attracted an army of out-of-state buyers, pushing prices even higher. Locals are getting priced out of their own neighborhoods, forced to look farther away for affordable options. Meanwhile, rents are climbing right alongside home prices, so even those who aren't buying feel the pinch. It's a city where fortunes are made and lost. The once stable neighborhoods are now battlegrounds for buyers, with open houses that look more like Black Friday sales. And as the market teeters on the edge, experts warn that Atlanta could see one of the sharpest corrections in the region. If you're thinking about buying in Atlanta, you'd better have nerves of steel, deep pockets, and a backup plan. Because right now, the city's market is anything but predictable. Next up is Savannah, where cobblestone streets, Spanish moss, and historic charm have always drawn homebuyers like moths to a porch light. But lately, that southern charm is coming with a price tag that's anything but genteel. Over the past 2 years, home prices in Savannah have shot up at a pace that's left many locals in complete disbelief. What's fueling this frenzy? Demand is sky-high as retirees and remote workers flood into the city, chasing the dream of a slower, sweeter life. But all that new money has made affordability a thing of the past. First-time buyers are being squeezed out, and even long-time residents are reconsidering their options as taxes and mortgage payments balloon. The biggest problem? Wages in Savannah haven't kept pace with the rapid price increases. So, while the city's economy looks strong on the surface, there's a widening gap between what people earn and what they need to buy a home. Many are forced to rent, and rental rates are climbing just as fast. Foreclosures are beginning to tick up, with homeowners unable to keep up with rising costs. The local government is scrambling to offer relief, but for many families, it's too little, too late. The market is tilting dangerously toward a bubble, with experts warning that a sharp correction could be just around the corner. If you've got your eye on one of Savannah's picturesque homes, take a hard look at your finances, because in this market, Southern comfort comes at a cost that's anything but comforting. Rolling into Augusta, you'd expect a housing market as steady as the Masters tournament. But the reality, Augusta's real estate scene is in a tailspin. Home values are dropping faster than a golf ball in a sand trap, and the headlines are all about rising foreclosures and empty homes. For years, Augusta was considered a safe bet for families and retirees alike. But recent trends have flipped the script. The city has seen a surge in distressed properties, as homeowners struggle to keep pace with mortgage payments that suddenly feel overwhelming. Job losses and economic uncertainty are only making things tougher. The hardest-hit neighborhoods are seeing for sale signs multiplying like weeds, and desperate sellers are slashing prices just to get out. Banks are stepping in to repossess homes at rates not seen since the last recession, and the ripple effects are dragging down property values across the city. Meanwhile, buyers are getting cold feet. With prices falling and more foreclosures on the horizon, even those with good credit are rethinking whether now is the time to buy. The uncertainty is driving down demand, which only adds more fuel to the downward spiral. If you're eyeing Augusta for a deal, proceed with caution. It might look like a buyer's market, but the risk of catching a falling knife is higher than ever. In Macon, the story is all about overvalued neighborhoods and the growing stress on mortgage holders. This city has always been known for its rich music history and friendly vibe, but these days, the soundtrack is more about financial stress than Southern soul. Over the past few years, certain Macon neighborhoods have seen prices rise way out of sync with incomes and local job growth. The result? A hotbed of mortgage stress, where buyers are stretched to their absolute limits and foreclosure rates are quietly on the rise. It's not just individual families feeling the heat. Local banks are starting to tighten lending standards, worried that too many new loans could go sour if the market takes a turn. Real estate agents are reporting more homes sitting on the market longer, and price cuts are becoming the new normal. The hardest hit areas are those that saw the fastest appreciation during the pandemic. Now, as interest rates climb and economic uncertainty grows, those gains are turning into losses almost overnight. Buyers who stretched their budgets to get into these neighborhoods are now struggling to keep up with rising costs. If you're considering Macon for your next move, double-check those home values and make sure your budget can handle a little turbulence. Let's talk about Athens, a city famous for its college town energy and eclectic music scene. But in the last few years, Athens has become ground zero for investor-driven price surges that are making it nearly impossible for local buyers to compete. Large investment firms and out-of-state buyers have swooped in, snatching up properties at lightning speed. They're driving prices through the roof, flipping homes for quick profits, and turning single-family residences into high-priced rentals. The result? Local families and first-time buyers are getting left out in the cold. Athens' unique vibe and steady influx of students have always made it a popular spot. But now, even the university crowd is feeling the crunch, with student housing prices soaring and competition for rentals at an all-time high. The pressure is pushing long-time residents to the outskirts, or out of the city altogether. The city government has tried to step in with affordable housing initiatives, but the demand is just too overwhelming. For now, it's the investors who are calling the shots, and regular buyers are stuck watching prices climb out of reach. So, if you're hoping to buy in Athens, brace yourself for bidding wars and sky-high prices. This city's market is hotter than a summer festival, but for most locals, it's starting to feel more like a bad hangover. Welcome to Columbus, a city where the housing market is so tight you'd think you were competing for a golden ticket just to get a showing. The inventory shortage here is nothing short of dramatic, and it's created a climate of price instability that has buyers and sellers both on edge. Homes are flying off the market within days, sometimes hours, often above asking price. The scramble for available listings has led to a rush of offers, driving prices up at an unsustainable pace. But as quickly as things heat up, there are signs the market is beginning to cool, with more price reductions popping up each week. For local families, the pressure is intense. Many are forced to compromise on location, or settle for homes that need major repairs, just to get a foot in the door. Even then, there's no guarantee the value will hold, as the market's volatility leaves everyone second-guessing their decisions. Sellers, on the other hand, have enjoyed a nice run, but now, they're getting nervous. With fewer buyers able to afford the high prices, homes are starting to linger on the market just a bit longer, and the power dynamic is beginning to shift. If you're looking to buy in Columbus, be prepared for a wild ride. This market is moving fast, and you'll need quick reflexes, and maybe a little luck, to score a deal that doesn't come back to haunt you. Alpharetta has long been the jewel of North Georgia, with its manicured lawns and luxury homes attracting affluent buyers from across the state and beyond. But beneath the polished surface, there's a growing risk that Alpharetta's high-end housing bubble is about to burst. In recent years, prices for luxury properties have soared, driven by demand from executives, tech professionals, and international buyers. Massive new developments have reshaped the skyline, and the competition for million-dollar homes has been fierce. But all that glitters isn't gold, especially when market fundamentals start to shift. Experts are sounding the alarm that Alpharetta's market is dangerously overheated. Inventory is starting to pile up at the high end, with more luxury listings than buyers to snap them up. Price cuts are becoming more common, and some sellers are panicking, slashing asking prices in hopes of attracting attention. The risk of a correction is real. If the broader market stumbles, luxury properties are often the first to feel the impact. The last time the market turned, it was the high-end homes in places like Alpharetta that sat empty the longest, bleeding value with every passing month. So, if you're dreaming of an Alpharetta mansion, keep your eyes wide open. This market has been red hot, but the warning signs are flashing bright red. Marietta has always been a favorite for families looking for good schools and safe neighborhoods, but in the last year, the city's housing market has started to show some serious cracks. Prices have become so inflated that buyers are backing away, leading to a noticeable slowdown in sales. Open houses that once drew crowds are now going empty, and homes are sitting on the market for weeks, sometimes even months, without any takers. Sellers are facing tough choices: drop their prices, or risk being stuck with a home they can't unload. The panic is starting to set in as more listings pile up and buyers get more selective. So, what caused the turnaround? Well, it's a combination of rising interest rates, economic uncertainty, and just plain old buyer fatigue. Folks are no longer willing to pay a premium for homes that don't check every single box, and sellers are being forced to get real about what their properties are actually worth. The result is a market in limbo. Prices are still high, but demand has cooled, and everyone is waiting to see who will blink first. For buyers, it can feel like a staring contest, but for sellers, the pressure is mounting by the day. If you're thinking about Marietta, make sure you know what you're getting into. This market is changing quickly, and the days of easy sales and bidding wars could soon be a thing of the past. Roswell has always been known for its picture-perfect neighborhoods and small-town feel, but lately, the city's growth has been anything but quaint. Demand for homes is sky-high, and prices have shot up at a pace that's left even seasoned residents shaking their heads. What's the danger? It's simple. The growth is unsustainable. Developers are rushing to build new homes, but infrastructure and services are struggling to keep up. The result is overcrowded schools, congested roads, and rising frustration among longtime locals. The fierce demand has led to bidding wars that push prices even higher, and investors are circling like sharks, looking to cash in before the bubble bursts. But with so much new construction and so little breathing room, there are growing concerns that Roswell's market could collapse under its own weight. Meanwhile, families are feeling the strain. Many are stretching their budgets to the breaking point just to stay in the community they love. If prices start to fall, those who bought at the peak could find themselves underwater in a hurry. Roswell's explosive growth has been a wild ride, but the question now is whether the city can sustain it, or if the market will finally hit the brakes. Our final stop is Warner Robins, a city that's long been a haven for military families and middle-class buyers, but lately the market here has flipped from red-hot to ice-cold, with home prices dropping faster than anyone expected. Just a few short months ago, buyers were lined up out the door for a shot at a new listing. Now, homes are sitting unsold, and agents are scrambling to figure out what happened. The sudden shift has left both buyers and sellers feeling whiplash, and uncertainty is the only thing everyone agrees on. The rapid price declines have rattled the local market, with some neighborhoods seeing double-digit drops in just a matter of weeks. Appraisers are struggling to keep up, and banks are becoming skittish about issuing new loans. The fear of further declines is keeping buyers on the sidelines, waiting to see where the bottom really is. For longtime residents, it's a tough pill to swallow. Many are watching the value of their homes shrink, even as they face rising costs for everything else. The mood in Warner Robins has gone from optimistic to anxious almost overnight. So, if you're considering a move to Warner Robins, take a deep breath and weigh your options. This market is in flux, and the only thing that's certain right now is uncertainty. There you have it, the top 10 Georgia cities where the housing market is teetering on the edge of disaster. From Atlanta's wild price swings to Warner Robins' sudden drops, These cities are feeling the full force of a market in crisis. If you're thinking about buying in Georgia, make sure you do your homework. This market is changing fast, and yesterday's safe bet could be tomorrow's biggest risk. Remember, every market has its ups and downs, and not every neighborhood is doomed. But with so many warning signs flashing, it's more important than ever to stay informed, ask tough questions, and look beyond the headlines. Don't rush into a deal without understanding the risks and making sure your finances are in order. Let us know in the comments if your city made the list, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the housing market. We're here to help you make smart decisions in these unpredictable times. Stay safe, stay savvy, and see you next time on the road to real estate reality.